And time goes by so naturally while you receive infinity.
Okay guys, welcome in for the masculine and feminine report, where we got a lot of different decks here, been inspired by the animals for this series. I will be having a lot of editing issues here. It was interesting because deliberately come in the afternoon because I have a raspy voice in the morning, and the what do you know, the raspiness came back. So again, this is information that needs to get out. So we're going to set it straight here with the masculine and feminine report. So this is a little more of a vague overview of the energies that I will be putting out here shortly for the spiritual report here on YouTube. And the love reports have already been posted out on Rumble. So have a look there and check those out. So here we go. Some of the decks that I have here today, I have the Wisdom and the House of Night. That's a regular. We have the Curious Creatures. That's a new one for me. And it brings about a lot of light energy for me, keeping things on the lighter side. That's going to be on the feminine's side. Dragon Oracle cards. The Guardian of the Night Tarot for the masculines. And the Pulp Tarot also for the masculine side. So we're going to get into things here. The first card that we have from the Dragons Oracle cards, they were notifying me that this will be the energy that we want to push us forward. This is the energy we already contain, but it will be more empowered with as we go forward here in the masculine and feminine report. So we're starting with the feminine energy as always. And the first card for you from the Dragons Oracle, the Fire and Water Dragon. It enables your life to flow with loving force. So prepare for change and to move forward quickly. Expect the unexpected and have fun. Now, for those in the positive poles, the have fun is accentuated there. For those that are in negative poles, it will be a negative ride here we're going on. So nonetheless, that is your empowerment card. That is what is powering you forward. Fire and water are opposites. And if you balance these two out, they can be in harmony. The sense that they're giving me here is that the fire can, is the liveliness and the enrichment that we can have from being lively and energetic. And the water is also that not so still place where you are in the flow with the universal energies. So this is what they want me to say there. Again, I'm sorry for my voice. It's there's an oppressive energy against, and I'm just accentuating that. And I will have a lot of editing cuts here because it just, I've been good all day. This is strictly for the reading because, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just somebody maybe even focusing on me particularly to not get messages out that are of truth and empowerment. Okay, here we go as we continue. Okay, so the first set of cards here that we have in the line of 3, past, present, and future, for the feminine. We have the Tarot of the Curious Creatures. And the first card for you, feminines, is the 5 of Pentacles. And right away they said lonely. Loneliness, alone, sad, right? And since when are pandas supposed to be sad? They're supposed to be the epitome of joyfulness and rumble tumble. Kind of, they're maybe not all energetic, but they're very light and whatnot. Roly-poly, right? So the sense here that this one's, sitting, and it's interesting. They have feminine legs. It seems like a dress there, that they're pulling themselves together. So that's the first card that we have here, the 5 of Pentacles. And again, it's almost like sitting in a jail cell. They're making me aware of the bamboo being light and freedom, right? And then them not feeling free. So this is a sense of this from this card. Okay, we're going to go down the road here. So that's our past. Yeah, a lot of energy against these messages. So carry on. Next card, 21, the World. So that's about completions. That's about coming to a successful completion with whatever it is. that is meant to be at this time. And for the feminine energies, we may have been literally, mentally, physically, spiritually working on completing things. And they're going, don't forget this, the physical plane, because there's a lot on the physical plane here that the feminine is really trying to gain hold of, gain a grip of, this kind of thing. And it may even be our peace of mind, because they're accentuating the hands and the kind of the meditative state that they're in here. And it may be that we have created a spiritual balance in our physical life, and this is good. Okay, so that's the second card. That's where we are presently, trying to create this balance. And I do get, like if we have some feminines, I'm picking up on a lot of single energy. So people that have not, either in limbo or are not in partnerships at this time. And in the future, what card do we get there from the Curious Creatures? King of Swords. Well, there's a man, isn't he? Man, this King of Swords, he's always a character in the readings here. It's usually the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. I don't know if they're opponents or whatever, but here he is right off the bat. Now, this king can also symbolize characteristics within you. One of wisdom and authority, and being able to make decisions from a higher wisdom here is the sense, right? Because when we have king, we are to some degree established in wisdom to some extent. Now, the sword is pointing down, which means we may carry wisdom, but we may not speak of it outward, but it doesn't mean that we don't attain it or don't come from it. It's just we may not be one to boast outward, is the sense I'm getting, like a quiet contemplation, a quiet wisdom is what I get here from this particular card. And also the fact that it's a falcon and they fly above everything. They see everything and you just don't see them until they attack, kind of thing. This is what I'm getting. Now, the sword pointing down again means we're not speaking of, but we carry a lot of wisdom, but we may not have to go outward and be boisterous in this. So I feel like we may have come across a time of loneliness here for the feminines. We may be kind of embracing that in an unusual way than we have in the past. We may have wanted to go outward and fill that gap, but we have, as per guidance is what they said, we have decided to embrace this loneliness and go inward and learn how to stay steady within our own spiritual nature, meaning not going outward so much, but turning all of that inward, all of that loneliness. That is an individual thing, by the way, but instead of going outward to fill it, we are being patient and sitting with it, and it kind of taking in some traits of wisdom within this time. Because I feel like even if we do want to partner or do want to go outward and be with other people, inwardly we are just accepting where we're at, which is grace itself, right? Accepting where you're at no matter what's going on. You may want to go out and be in social circles, you may want to go out and be with friends and lovers or whatever, but you're in a place now where you've had this guidance and you're listening to the fact that I think right here is where I need to be, and I just need to be here, if that makes any sense, and embracing that. And that in itself is a completion of a cycle of fulfillment, right? So how do I word that? The sense they're giving me is, in the past, we may have wanted to fill that gap with something, someone, people, things. And instead of doing that, we are honoring ourselves during this time. And that is a huge accomplishment compared to the way we were acting in the new universe. Was the opposite. We were trying to fill that gap and being in it with grace and turning it inward toward ourselves. This is all enriching. Okay. Now, the King of Swords, just let me sit here. There's a lot of purple here, signifying, again, connection to the higher power. The sky, right? It's the purple is above the sky. This is where the sky sits. So the sense here is we see everything that's going on, and we're taking the time to bring in the higher power, higher guidance okay? Maybe our instinct, maybe our own just opinions floating through and seeking them out to see where we fit with that. Okay, so nice. Okay. We're going to get into the second level here with the feminine cards, the Infinity Feminine. So this is my deck that I had made up, and it's got mostly images of feminine figures throughout. 2, the High Priestess is the card that we get on top of the 5 of Pentacles. So this speaks to intuition, using abilities in this way to move forward, high discernment and whatnot. I feel like as we were sitting by ourselves, there's a sense of connecting with higher guidance in order to suss out what is right and wrong here and moving forward. So this is just, I think, another step on, like, the 5 of Pentacles here is talking about being alone and non-enjoyment, right? But the High Priestess brings us alone, but it brings a different energy of wisdom coming through to discern here. So as we move into the World card, 21, again, I feel like there's a sense of grace and peace to accept things as they are at this time. On top of that card, the energy is 11, the Justice card from the Infinity Feminine. And this Justice card is from above. There's going to be decisions here made on the way that we go forward in our life at this time. There's justice created. Now, it may even be our perception of this. Being in stillness, justice can be created in a way that we give up to the higher energies, if you get my drift. It's kind of like surrendering to let the ultimate balance take over. And this is the sense I'm feeling here. I feel like the completion is, I know that I can discern certain things, and I'm only human. I can only discern what I see. And sometimes we're meant to see things distorted. And we do see things distorted. And sometimes that does us no good, and our perception may be wrong. So we have given up to the universal energies and said, you know what? I'm going to send all my energy up there to you, and you see what you do with it. You create the justice that you see, because I know that what I see may not be the truth. And I can't find the truth. I can't discern the truth at this time. So can you do it for me, because you see everything? And the universe is going, absolutely. And not only that, but you have completed a cycle of trying to right wrongs that we don't have a complete full view of. If you get my drift, this is getting deep here. But the sense is giving up to a higher power to let that control. Whereas before we would have tried to control it ourselves. And that's the cycle. That's the successful completion they want to make you aware of. Successfully completing and knowing when, what's that phrase? What you can control and what you can't is half of the battle here. So I feel like that's the feminine, giving it up to the universe and going, you do what you do with it, because you know all, and I know that I don't, and I don't know at this time. Not that I don't trust myself, but I trust you more. So it's just allowing that of a higher nature to take shape. And this in itself is a completion cycle. Okay, I'm repeating. So the next card here, the King of Swords. Now, this could be your energy. You could be an air sign or not. But the feminines will be in the energy of discernment and higher wisdom. And the fact that, again, we're not speaking from that which, and the sense they're giving me is, we're not going to argue our point. If we're not getting through to that person and that person's not getting, we're just going to sit in silence and let things pass as they will. And I don't see this as being passive as much as this is the only wisdom we can gain here. So this is our only path that we can take because of what has gone on here. And then again, releasing to a higher power. So the feminine card on top of that King of Swords energy is the Queen of Earth. What do you know? And this queen, right? Okay, give me a moment. Get back into this deck. Yeah, she blends in with everything. She can be in any situation and blend herself in quite swimmingly. She has the knowledge, the wisdom, the how would you say, earthly abilities to maneuver in any situation. Now, give me a moment here. Again, we got someone in a kind of a contemplative like a meditative state where we're accepting things on a high level here. And also they're giving me the sense, what is shining down upon her? The light. And this is what we're coming from. That's what they said. Look at her skin, how it's glowing, and what is creating that glow? The sun, right? So if we go into that a little bit, is not only are we of high discernment, but we're allowing the universal energies to enter and choosing not to take action at this time, but giving up to a higher power. So this is really all in that flow of that one thing that's happening here. Now, it's interesting to me, we got the fire and water dragon, and then the earth is the epitome of the feminine energy, earth and air. So that completes the whole cycle there, right? The swords is the air and the earth. Give me a moment here. Yeah, meaning there may be in the feminine qualities here in this reading, if you are resonating. You may need some elements of fire, and to fine tune those elements of fire and water, emotional sides to yourself, being able to accept emotions with compassion, being able to go out with passion and playfulness into the world, being guided by a higher perspective here. Wow, okay, this is big. As we move into, okay, the more spiritual side here, wisdom in the house of night. These are the oracle cards that are coming upon. So on the 2, the high priestess, again, I feel like in the past we've connected with our instinctiveness, our intuitiveness, our sense of, whether it's religion or whatever it is that guides you, a higher power. Okay. I feel like we're connecting to this, and we're trying to utilize our abilities outward toward ourself, though, more with an alignment of ourselves. We're centered on ourselves and creating the best for ourselves going outward. On top of that energy, the House of Night card is fragment. Oh, here we go with the fragment card. For those who are not able to focus on the self in the proper manner, meaning we are needing to increase our ability to heal, or ability to feel in order to heal. There may be some fragmented souls here, and what I'm getting is there may be bits and parts of us that are unhealed, but certain areas that we are choosing to meditate and ground out, there's a certain center that's also clear, right? There's some that needs healing and some that is clear. And that is just part of being a human being. We can't get it all right all the time. So this is where I feel the fragment sits. And I feel part of that lies with the ability to be alone. I feel like we're struggling with this aloneness, but we are winning because we are able to sit in the moment and absorb that we are alone, and maybe we should be alone, and working on things within the self, which is what the universe wants you to focus on. And just doing that alone is a completion of like, we're not trying to fill that spot, that void, because that void is there for you to look at you alone. And the minute we start to go outward, so those that are more unhealed will be seeking outward assistance, will be seeking to plunk people in there, it's kind of like that addiction to a partner or addiction to someone being around all the time. That's going to be the part that's fragmented out. Okay, let's go into the next circle here, the world card. Again, the cycle is complete, that we are now able to spiritually look at our own selves and deal with our own selves and create boundaries because of this. And this will create justice in our own world, not only because we've given it up, we've given the tougher scenarios up to the higher realms to deal with. We're just going to deal with what's concrete within us. We can't control what's outside of us. So what we can control, we're dealing with, and what we can't, we're giving it up. Okay. Now, on top of that, justice card, right? And the sense that they're giving me is you give it up to us, we will create justice. Watch us go, kind of thing. They've been waiting for this moment, is what they're saying. We've been waiting for the moment that you give it up to us because we cannot do anything without your permission. So the minute you say, okay, I give it up, I can't, can you please create justice here? Whatever prayer that you can say. Some people don't like the word prayer. What can I say? Speak to your universal self. They're listening. Okay, on top of the justice card, we get playful. Yeah, 44. And there's that red symbolizing the fire that we need. So the fact that we did give things up to the universal energy and the universal flow will take charge from here. And the fact that you are focusing on the self, that's like releasing the certificate, right? You give the certificate up, the other person takes it on. But you can't let go of it until you truly focus on the self and you release the control that you may or may not have, which on someone else or something outside of you, anything like that. And what they're saying is the more playful we are with our own energy and being able to keep our, frequency light and effervescent, as I say, the more we can do this, the more playful we can be, the easier the flow will come back and things will rectify from this energy field, right? Yeah. Being playful will help as long as it's dealing within the self. Being playful within the self is what they corrected me with. Okay, so as we go into the future here, the King of Swords and the Queen of Earth, I feel like these are energies the feminine is trying to encompass. The King of Swords and the Queen of Earth are elements that are encompassed within the feminine self. I feel like we're working on our highest truth and wisdom within ourself, which is good to focus that inward. What is our true self? What is our wisdom? What is our, standpoint? Where do we come from? And the Queen of Earth is being able to feel regal and royal in that. Because the Queen of Earth, she has it all figured out. She is very comfortable in her own skin. She can sit there and just resonate. And if there's people that she doesn't agree with, she doesn't create havoc. She doesn't, she's learned the lessons of all the elements up to there as I see it, right? Because if we go by speed, the earth is the slowest, the water is the second, and then the air and fire, or fire and air after that. I think it's air and fire. And if you go backwards, this is what we are completing all of those. And the fact that this queen has learnt how to become stoic, yet embedded with all of the elements needed to go successfully forward. There's a sense of self-worth and self-value here that is unsurpassed when the Queen of Earth is around. She just feels so secure in herself. She makes you feel more secure being around her. And she just has it all figured out. She's been through enough to know how to deal with it gracefully. She's also been through enough to know at what speed do I utilize my energy at. So she's got all these things mastered. Man, okay, it's just going on and on. They want me to explain these things, though. On top of her energy, okay, this is King of Swords, Queen of Earth. It's all encompassed in the feminine energy of perfecting that character. On top of that, we get the High Priestess of Air. The High Priestess of Air speaks to that which is unseen, right? It also speaks to truths being illuminated. And it may be that we keep our cool no matter what explosions are around us. We're just staying calm and cool and collected. I get that sense here. There may be some information coming down in the future here to us that could create, or maybe is trying to intend to create from a negative angle, havoc. But I feel like if we're in the Queen of Earth energy, we just are not going to be If it's someone trying to get our goat, then it's not going to work. And if it's someone trying to create upheaval, that's not going to work either. I feel like we just will handle things in the correct manner, in the correct way, with the correct guidance. And this is what I get. And the high priestess of air is a sense of being in their head about it, and to the degree that we may even know what's coming down. Okay, I feel like, or we may have an inkling, is what they said, an inkling of what it is. May not know exactly, but I feel like the feminine's well on their way to perfect themselves to a degree where they know what they're going to stand for, how much of it they're going to stand for, and the boundaries that they need to uphold. And this in itself keeps them calm and cool and collected, because they know that anything that comes forward, if we don't like it, we'll create a barrier. And if we don't want it, we can walk away. And this is what I'm getting highly here. So I'll leave it at that, because now we started with the fire and water dragon. I want to go back to that energy, because they're talking about enabling your life to flow with loving force. And I feel like loving force is kind of like that water energy that meanders in and out of things, doesn't create havoc or a thunderstorm or what do you call that, like a dirt devil thing. It doesn't create all of these things that can create upheaval, right? It just goes, and if there's a little bit of resistance, then it moves around. It's a sense of working with the energy instead of against it. So that sits here. Now prepare for change and move forward quickly. Expect the unexpected and have fun. So what did I say about, I was talking about the elements. We start with, when we're looking at speed, we're starting with earth, which is very stagnant, and they creep slowly ahead. And then there's water, which goes a little faster than that. And then there's air, okay? And it is not the fastest on the scale here, but this is the card we end on. And I feel like the sense here is we may be moving out of the earth element to go a little faster into that air element, but we have wisdom coming with us. So as long as we don't get into the fire too much, having to do with, being playful and whatnot, I think we can get a good handle on our character and go about things in the future in the best way possible. So the High Priestess of Air brings a wisdom and a sense of groundedness from behind, okay? So we're ending with Diana Cooper's Archangel Animal cards. I'm seeing the word Michael instead of animal. I don't know why that is. Some of you may have been connected with Archangel Michael. That may be something you call upon quite frequently, that energy. Something here, because it was like literally I had to sit there and stare at it and go, that's not Archangel Michael. It's animal cards. And I guess I don't know. But anyway, so moving on. So the last clarification card from the animal deck here is the gray squirrel. So feminines, find new ways of solving problems. Archangel Raphael. Raphael is the green, and look at the chakra center in the third eye. New ways of solving problems. I feel like this is exactly the scenario that we're coming across here. The feminines got a sense of loneliness here, and what have they done? They're solving that problem in a new way, because before they would have plunked someone in there and tried to, not losing the fun factor here, but not respecting the moments they have alone to dive deeper into themselves, right? So this is the difference. They're doing that now, and that's also something the universe wanted them to do, so that's all in alignment. Give me a sense here. So the third eye, may be open for some here in the positive poles. The gray squirrel. It's funny this comes up because I always denote the squirrel to be lack of attention, right? Because you say squirrel and squirrel. It's like every minute of the day, And what they're making reference here for me is we are no longer like that in our world. We are focusing on ourselves with it, the attention needed, right? We're not, because normally it would have been like a squirrel, like darting here and there, and we'll pay a little bit of attention, then we drop it for a friend that comes over, or for someone that, to make time for someone else outside of us. But we're now not allowing that to happen. And that's really what I feel here is the greatest accomplishment. And they're very, like, they're up there throwing confetti and clapping. They're going, this is great and wonderful, because we have to, one, learn how to live with ourselves, understand ourselves, know what we want more deeply, so that we can come across it. When we come across it, we see it more fine-tuned, in a more fine-tuned way, where we go, yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Instead of, I don't know if I want that. Let's try it. And then you get 10 steps in before you realize that ain't what I want, right? So it's a foreboding, because foreboding usually is negative, but it's a foreboding of an energy like, I'm going to figure out what I truly want from my heart, soul, and deepest part of it, by the way. And then when I go outward, I'm going to know it more obviously. And if this is not something we're literally working on, this is going to be a byproduct of that working within the self, and knowing what we want, what we like, da-da-da. Now, this was a deep one. I'm trying to get that energy and hold it. I think I explained rings around it, but nonetheless, we're very much in a lonely state here, working our way towards more finely tuning ourselves and our own vibrancy within our own limitations, and then going outward. And I feel like this might be here for a while for some, and it may be just, we may have some squirrels coming out and wanting to distract, but the sense is we've done a, what do you call that, a grade 1 course. So, we can always go back to it and expand and, get our GED if we have to at a later date. But the basics are here. We know that there's a home base we can go to, and there's a sense of being able to know that we can sit with the self, we can get answers with the self, and we can go forward more fulfilled. This is what they wanted. And as long as we get a little taste of that, we'll keep coming back for more. So that's all good. Okay, now, and feminine. Okay, get into the masculine energy here as I flip the cards over. So the first card we get for the masculine energy, so that would be the Dragon Oracle card for the masculines. What do we get? Deep Blue Dragon. Keeps you safe by clearing your pathway. Ooh. Trust that you are protected. Walk on a path of light. I just posted on YouTube here. I just posted a thing. It's interesting because, again, I post a lot that's guided, and some of it I post from my own self. This one was posted from a red flag going up in myself, and then them going, can you please post it? And I said, yes, I'm in agreement. I will post it. Basically, it's an article about a celebrity. Beyond that, it's about digging deeper and finding your honest truth. Okay, now, once you find that truth and you decide that is the truth you want to come forth with, it is to be able to fight for that truth as you bring it forward. Because it may be surprising who may be against you that you never thought, that you always thought was on your side. Someone that, the sense is someone, once you bring your truth more to the forefront, which is really becoming more clearly who you are, which they're wholly in approval of. Once you do this, it may be surprising who gets turned off by that. Okay? So, as we go forward here, the Deep Blue Dragon, clearing your pathway, you're protected as long as you walk on the path of light. And that's a huge, huge thing here. If we are on the path of dark, and some people may be an illusion of this, or I feel like it's not illusion, it's delusion. They think they're doing the right thing, but they know damn well that they're not. Somewhere deep down inside, they know they're not. They're pushing buttons. This is what I mean. Okay, well, get into the cards. So for the masculines, we have the Pulp Tarot deck. One of my favorites. So bringing the first card in for the for the masculine side here. Your first card, wow, is a Five of Swords. Interesting that both the masculine and feminine start with a 5. The feminine with the 5 of Pentacles and the masculine with a 5 of Swords. So 5 of Swords is victory at the expense of someone else. We may have had a situation here. Now, this is going to get very intricate because when we're fighting the good fight, we shouldn't have to physically fight it out. We shouldn't have to put someone under our boot heel, so to speak. Now, having said that, I feel like there's a sense here, again, of almost a 50-50 split where 50% of these masculines are fighting the right fight and 50 aren't. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Knowingly, unknowingly, it doesn't matter. They're going to learn. If they didn't know who's right and wrong here through this fight, they're going to learn who is and who isn't worth their time and energy as we go forward. And that's a sense here. I feel like this masculine has put up a great, huge fight and he's defeated somebody. So let's go forward and see what happened in that fight. Because the next card is a Six of Swords. So that's about leaving. Yeah. And again, that first energy of it may be surprising who we have to leave or who we have to isolate ourselves from. And it may be someone that was close to us, may not be. Okay. But either way, I feel like we are fighting for our rights here. Yeah, there's something we stood up for. And we are no longer going to allow anyone, I'm hearing talk bad about this person, this family, whatever. It's somebody here that's going against our energy, and we're standing up for what's right here. So I'm getting so far. Okay, the next card in the future here, we get the Knight of Swords. Wow, swords, swords, swords. Knight of Swords. It's a constant struggle is what they said. So we may have been surrounded. Okay, one scenario here. We may be surrounded by people here that we thought had our highest good in mind. And they don't. As we are starting to wise up and evolve and speak more about what we want, we're finding that there's more people outside of us that are struggling to keep it out. To keep us down, to keep, creating havoc, chaos, and whatnot. They're going, don't let that deter you from picking your lane. You've picked your lane, and that's why they are having this struggle, is because we may have not even cared about lanes. We couldn't care less about opinions or other people's or not. But now that we are on the right side of things, okay, for 50% or whatever that may be here, there's a situation here where we're going to have to leave some people behind, right? And that's a symptom of ascension, is finding new soul families, new soul groupings. I'm saying families. I'm feeling there's a trigger word there for people talking about family. It may have been within the family that we had to kind of close a gate there. So you stay on your side because I'm just not there. That's really hard to do within a family or within friends that we considered like family is what I'm getting. And this is all something that was just because we didn't speak outward. And the sense that they're giving me is we may have thought in our head a lot about this stuff. But again, being kind of flippant or not having enough depth or speaking from enough depth that we made that discernment there. We just kind of let everything flow over our head, and no longer is this acceptable because we're evolving, and then it happens. So this is where we're headed. Knight of Swords. And he's an oh shit dude. Like, he comes in, and whether or not he's speaking for the truth or for someone who's telling the truth, he is there to get underneath and find out what the hell's going on here. And I feel like we may have been fighting in the past and not had all the details. And I feel like the Six of Swords comes in to say, you know what, this is not serving me, so I got to move in this direction. And now we're fighting again because we're choosing things again. It's all part of the discernment, learning how to discern what's right and wrong here. We got to really take time to overlook all these battles we've been through and see exactly where these people are now. Did I make the right decision then? Am I making the right decision now? What are the because they're showing me, like, what are the similarities in all of these situations? Are these all similar or are they all different? Or am I looking at this and going like, I can't make a right decision no matter what? Or, this kind of thing. There's a sense to overview, dissect what we've been through in order to see if there's a pattern here that we're missing out on. Okay. Beyond that, we'll get into the next row here, the masculine cards from the Infinity deck, the deck that I made up. It's all masculine pictures. So on top of the Five of Swords, the masculine Infinity card we get there is the Strength card. Yeah. We came from our strength, our inner strength, and we went outward. And like a lion, we roared, and people heard. They're backing off. But again, I feel like for the masculines, there's a lot of opposing energy that we allowed in our field, frankly. I feel like that was our mistake, was allowing these people in to get real close and cuddle up. And then before we knew it, we had to like blow up and push these people aside because we didn't use our inner compass enough, or we didn't speak of our inner compass, right? It's like you want to go this way, but this one's tugging you a little bit left, a little bit right. No, I want to go. And then finally, I've had it, right? And it blows. This is kind of what I'm getting in the past. Okay, in the present here, Six of Swords, meaning we have to move away from some of these energies. I'm saying energies because it could be people, situations, stuff that's going on that we just got to get away from for a while. So on top of that, we get the Sun card, and they're going, isn't that wonderful that we can actually do that? There's a sense of freedom and space from this. So for the masculines, I think there is a place where they're in the present right now. They're realizing, you know what, I need to back the truck up, beep, 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 and just take a moment. Right? And this is good because usually that masculine energy is always plugging forward, pushing energy. And right now, I think they're able to accept the fact that I think I just got to stop and assess. And that is the right thing to do. Okay. So on the swords, the Knight of Swords, in the future, what do we get here? We get the Judgment card. Yeah. And depending on what side of the pole you are on, meaning if you're a negative person or a positive person, negative pole or positive pole, a judgment will come down upon you from above. And they are giving me the feminine energy here. So we may have had direct confrontations with the opposite sex here. And because the feminine reading was the energy like, I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to leave it be. I'm letting go, letting the higher judgment take over. I feel like to a certain degree the masculine's doing it similarly, but from a different vein. They are taking action to uncover the truth. They're going under every rock. They're flipping things over, getting to the bottom of things, asking people, pushing buttons, right? This is the active masculine zone. They're doing this. And in the product of doing this, people can lie to us. They can tell us untruths. And I feel like that's what happened. And we're starting to isolate ourselves from people because we need time to think about what was said, whether it's the lie or the truth. And as we go forward, if we take action on things, be careful because judgment will come from above here. And I feel like so much so that there may not have been a similar example like this in our past. So meaning, if we jump to conclusions or assume things about people that we don't truly know the answers to, we may be surprised at what's right and wrong in judgment here. Now, not only because, we may be confused at this time, I feel like the universal energies are trying to clear the way for you to see the truth. But if we're going roughshod into everybody's business and we don't take the time to analyze the information that we get properly, not that you know what I mean? Like, again, are people lying to us? Or do we have the proper discernment? This kind of thing. It will all come out in the wash here in the future, because I feel like we're going to be making, for those in the negative pole, I'll just cut it down for you. For those in the negative pole, they're going to go forward and they're going to make harsh decisions against people that may or may not have told the truth to them. And because of those actions, judgment will come upon them for that. So they will have to answer for those mistakes that they made. For those in the positive pole, they will have more resistance to hold back and watch the show play out and see the characters for what they are, because they always do illuminate. The truth always rises, and even if we didn't get the truth will come to be, and it will be seen more clearly over time. For those that have the patience to sit back and wait, judgment will come for them as well, because those paths will be glaringly obvious, because we'll just start running down the right path. It'll open right up, and it's like everybody starts going in that way. So I feel like the judgment coming for those in the negative pole is going to be consequences for actions that may have been, what do you call that? Done too quick, too soon, without the right facts, this kind of thing. I don't know, hard time spitting out words here in the masculine. So figure it out. Okay, so the next row here, we have a new deck. It's the Guardian of the Night Tarot. And what this is an animal deck, because I'm attuned with animals and whatnot. And it is basically telling that it's light and dark that is needed, and sometimes we need to embrace the dark in order to move forward. And they specifically said this deck goes to the masculine, because I feel like there's some masculines here that just want to go down the dark road and say, I'm going to give that guy a spanking because I think he deserves it and whatnot. But again, do we know everything that this person is about? Do we know, are we like judge, jury, and executioner? This kind of thing is what I'm getting. So for those that resist that temptation to do that, if you wait long enough, the universe will come down and create that balance for you. And not only can you be in misjudgment of how harsh that should come down, but you could be in misjudgment because you may be wrong, right? So this is the whole scenario. I hope that got through okay. So the first card on the strength card here, again, a lot of strength going forward with our opinions and standing our ground and whatnot, which is good. The Guardian of the Night Tarot card is the Five of Wands, again with the fives. Struggle. It's hard. It's conflictive. We may even have internal conflict. Here is the beaver. He's taken action, and this is kind of what I get from the past. We're taking action, and what we hear, we're going to act on, and we're going to, you told me that, I'm going to go and find out if that's the case. And I feel a direct line of trying to figure out what's going on. Again, it's not above, though, people lying to us to get what they want, and people may lie to us, and we may believe it, and we may be wrong in that. Be aware of that. I feel like that's what's coming to light now, is that people lied to us and we made judgment from that, and now we're seeing that, they lied to me and I didn't think they lied to me, and I went as if they didn't lie to me, and look at the trouble I'm in now, this kind of thing. So I feel like that's a Five of Wands. I feel like that's a struggle and the strife. We took a lot of strength to take people's words, but a lot of them may not have been the truth, is the sense. Now, as we move into the present, there's a sense of veering away. Now, I don't know if it's in particular situation, this person that lied to us, we may be working our way away from people like that, from that particular person, or just taking a break to notice things more deeply so that we can discern more highly. Now, on top of the Sun card, what do we get? Ace of Swords. Yeah, the truth. We're going away to find the truth, and this is a good thing. It's highly attuned to universal energies. They want you to find your truth. They want to find the truth outside of you, but sometimes that you need a little more patience than you're willing to give in your past. But I feel like if we take the right wave here, if we discern, we don't even have to discern at this time. We just have to watch, be finely attuned to people and their motives, and believe them or not believe them. This is, this will be seen more clearly because people will be activating from their motives more strongly as time goes on, is what they're telling me. And the Ace of Swords is like that. Now, these these vines, they open up at night. My mom used to have this actually in her garden when she was still alive. We used to go out in the evening and sit in the back, and all these vines, I think they're called trumpet vines, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong there. But they're beautiful, but they only open in the evening when the dark comes out. Then they start to open. When the light goes down, they open. And the sense here I'm getting from the masculine is that, I can do you dirty real bad, and and feel no pain because I feel it's justified. But again, those that are in negative will attune to that, and they will do that, and they will have justice come down upon them for that. Okay? And those that have the patience to understand, I do have the power and the wisdom to pull something off here, but if I hold back long enough, the universe will do it in complete alignment, and I won't have to take any karmic hit whatsoever for any of it. If you have the patience, this will be worth it. It's going to hurt like hell. It may be painful for the male because the masculines, they want to spank, right? You spank me, I'm going to spank you back. This kind of thing is what I'm getting. And the Ace of Swords is saying, you just wait for that truth, because not only, and that's on the down low, right? We'll spank you and get you back, and it's all in the darkness. Nobody else knows. But the problem here is the universe going to make that aware to everybody. And it's not going to be, and you won't have to pay a karmic card for this if you just wait and hold off. Stay in your light. We know you can spank them harder. We know you can make them hurt, but don't do it. This is your one chance to gain a karma point here if you just wait, because if you surrender it to the universe, they will take care of it. They've been waiting for your word to say, you know what, from here, give it what you got. Okay, so anyway, the Ace of Swords is here to relay that there is a truth that will come here, and there is a victory if we can hold out long enough to let the universe handle it. As we get into the future, and this is the present. So we're starting to see evidence of this, and hopefully that's giving you the strength to, hold off in the right areas. Okay, so as we go forward here, the Knight of Swords, he moves quite quickly to Judgment. Be careful how you go forward physically here. Getting for the masculines, very physical. It's like a bar fight. You go in there, you could either smack the guy in the face and end up behind bars, or you can leave and walk away gracefully with your dignity and nobody gets hurt. And then, the universe can deal with him later. This kind of thing. Now, on top of the Judgment card, the Guardian card we get is the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, that's about stability and whatnot. Now it's a Queen energy, which is interesting. Because they're flipping gears and they want me to take note of that. The Queen of Pentacles, she's very sturdy. She has a lot of abundance. She creates her own abundance. And she can do it all, right? Yeah, they're making me quite aware of these. The rabbit, first of all, sitting still with his eyes, looking at the cow. So it's almost, if we can just sit for a little longer, things will come to be. And a cow is a great blessing, right? Because it can feed a family. It's a huge gift from the universe, right? To those, because it can create milk, it can create food, and it can create companionship as well. Now, give me a moment here. The pink, the peachy pink kind of color, they're going to soften our heart just a little bit. We don't have to soften it for the enemy, but we have to soften it enough to know or trust in somebody else to deal with things, is what I'm getting here. The masculine has to give it up to the universal energies and let them handle it, and we'll show you what we can do, is what I'm getting. But if we never do it, we always take karma points. We could take hits, and we get further down the line of energy where our self-worth takes hits. And even though, we're willing to take that and go for it, we don't want you to take that. We don't want you to sacrifice your self-worth. when, it's all part of the evolvement plan. It's just going to take a little longer by the universal standards. Like the masculine wants to take care of it on the weekend, but the universe says, give me a month and I'll figure it out. This kind of thing. It's like it may take a little longer to get justice here, but if you're patient, okay, I'm beating it home. The Queen of Pentacles, she's got it all. She's right up there before the Empress. And this could be the type of person that we're looking for, or the person we're fighting for, or the people that we want in our life. People that are abundant and of worth. And the pentacle is sitting out strongly here in the center of the third eye, right? That was accentuated in this squirrel in the feminine reading. And didn't I say? No, it was a clairaudience that was coming through in the last readings. But maybe this is a foreboding of what's going to come forth here in the new spirituality readings coming up here shortly. Third eye action again. Third eye, they're showing me like focusing of a lens, right? Being more clear with our guidance, this kind of thing. And this may also be what is glaringly obvious at this time. Maybe we're getting third eye energy influence here that is guiding us and helping us hold back. Or we could be denying it altogether. And again, the path here of positive and negative. So, is that everything? Yeah, fireflies. Give me a moment. Lighting up the darkness. So there's little lights in the darkness here. Like there's a sense of, I feel like the masculine may be a lot in their head and negative thinking, negative energy against someone else is what I'm getting. Why? Because they lied and they told me, and it created a big line of stuff that happened that shouldn't have happened because they lied is what I'm getting. Now, because of this is the spanking that the masculines want to go out and spank someone because of this. Now, again, the sense here is if we hold off, it's like those little fireflies in the grass. We'll light your way. We'll light your way. Just keep following the little signals that we get. And maybe, third eye action. What is third eye? That is your inner sight, your insight, your imagination, things that come to your mind in an imaginative way through pictures, visualizations, little glints of a scenario. I say like movie playing in my head, and especially if it's something that's not what you're really even in the mode to accept. If it comes out of the blue, you're like pumping your car with gas and suddenly a flicker of something comes in your head and you're like, oh, that's weird. Check on it, because a lot of times it's validating. Queen of Pentacles, that's all I'm getting there. I'm getting a strong, stable energy if we are in the right way here. If we're in a positive pole and we can resist lashing out, we'll be good. Okay. Man, it's tense. They're making me feel the tension because there's some people here that just want to go out and spank someone. And that's lightly, okay? Okay, what do we get for the animal card? The Archangel animal card for the masculine. We get the guinea pig. Talking about Archangel Mary. Do your part to illuminate the universe. And there's my little fireflies with illumination. And that's the thing too. Be that example, right? Don't go out. Don't go out and show the hoodlums how it's done. We don't want to create more of that energy. We want to create more grace and dignity and patience that people will get their own when their time is right. And I'll tell you, the universe does it so poetically, so justified, so that it just, and then sometimes, we just don't know all the facts, and the universe can illuminate that to us as well. So let's go back to the first card here, the Deep Blue Dragon. You will go your way in safety if you use the wisdom to hold off. If you go around spanking people and putting them in their place, you will not be protected. So I think we kind of know this, but that's the thing. The blue dragon will be there to keep you in safety and clear your way as long as you're walking the light path, as long as you're giving it up to the universe in truth. And they want me to say, because there was a certain point in my life I was frustrated by some things, a lot of energies, right? I deal with a lot of energies. And I was frustrated by incoming oppressive energy. And even though I had had a good rain and I was building a maintenance system here to deal with that, I was just getting frustrated that it was continuing and continuing and continuing. So I sat back and I thought, I'm pretty powerful. I used all my karma points here and I'm due some more. I could take a few hits and do a few things, but it's not in my nature to do that. So I didn't do it. Instead, I cried in frustration and I sent it up to the universe and I say, you do your best you can do because I'm sick of this and I'm done with it. And the next day I felt different. I felt less negative. I felt less, it was like something literally lifted. But you literally have to, whether it's what you consider prayer, meditative moments, there's got to be a decision made in your mind to intend to release and let go of something. And then, your frequency will change. There's no two ways. But there's got to be an intention. And it's got to be a true intention, not a half-assed, as they say, intention. Or as I say a lot of times, it can't be halfway. And you just won't know what that is until you walk yourself down the road, So the masculine and feminine, they want me to get the two feature cards out and kind of compare here as we go forward. Getting back into the energies. I've been in the physical world for a while doing my thing, so that I don't normally do, which is good and refreshing, but nonetheless. So for the feminines, we got the fire and water. For the masculines, we got deep blue. And look at the masculines go with bold and strong energy. And again, they're accentuating that because there's fire here. We can burn shit up. But hold off, right? And then we have the guinea pig and the gray squirrel. And I feel like for the feminines, the gray squirrel is about that attention to self. Keep your attention on yourself. Don't get distracted by things outside of that. And not only that, keep attention to your third eye. There's stuff coming in here that needs to be seen and needs to be witnessed. And it will help you as you evolve forward here. And it will be the little gifts that will come through the third eye at that time when we are focused on the self. This is a good thing. It's big check marks from the universe. Focusing on self is a good thing. There's different ideals here having to do with lonely and all that, but I'm not going to get into. Okay, the guinea pig on the masculine side. Look at the light up the heart center. That's close to the heart. I don't think it's the throat. It's the heart. And do your part to illuminate the universe. And how do you illuminate shit? You use your heart. That is the most powerful force on the universe. And if you are in your heart energy, there is nothing you can't overcome, do, see, touch, feel, hear, whatever sense. That heart will get you through to everything. And I think for the masculines, again, if they're in a conflictive mode, the heart's not there, right? That's that anger and the bitterness that's been fueled. The guinea pig, do your part to illuminate the universe. Look at the heart being lit up in there. And I feel like that's part of it. Needing to utilize your heart more. I think if we're in conflictive mode with certain people because they've angered us and, that's all a whole different realm. I think if we back off of that and we focus on those things that we can utilize our heart in more, that will distract us enough. That will give us squirrel energy to distract us from the anger so that we can work in a better way, if that makes any sense. So that's the masculine and feminine energies for this period of time here until I get these spiritual readings up. I will be coming out quite shortly. We haven't done a meditation on which cards I'm going to use yet as we go forward, but those will be coming. These animals here, I felt a big surge of using the animal cards, and I feel like, whether you're masculine or feminine, I feel like the spiritual universe through animals as well is evolving. And if you're not along, like if you're catching these readings, you're kind of like, I'm not all with that. Look to the animal kingdom. Look to all the videos that you see, not only because we have the ability to see animals do more wonderful, miraculous things, but because the animal universe they've got a lot to teach us. They've got a lot that we can learn from. Basic skills about respect, loyalty, love, caring, and those basic skills that we have lost or don't value at this time or don't deem that those things should be in the forefront. Look to the animal system and see if you can't see them evolve as well. And if you can, then just take that inward, that is also a guidepost for us as well, that this is anything that touches this earth is going to evolve. And, you know, maybe it's animals that we need to focus on right now. Maybe you have a job with animals or can gain one with animals that would make you in a more higher realm of being. I don't know how to express that, but I had a bit of energy come forth. You know, I was like, oh, look at all that animal decks you're getting. And then they gave me the energy of, you know, they are evolving and they are learning lessons and they are making huge strides. And just because we're human doesn't mean that we can't do the same within. And the fact that they, you know, animals don't hold an ego like people do, man, that just carries a lot of less weight with them, that they can make leaps and bounds because there's no ego telling them they have to do this or they have to because other people do. They do what they're guided to do, and they do it strongly and justly and instinctively, and they don't let anything else get in the way of that because they know in their heart that it's the right thing to do. So guys and gals, that's the masculine feminine report for this session. Okay. Yeah, keeping with the 80s theme, the new theme for the year. We'll see how far I can go with that. And I don't know if I'll find a music video for the masculine and feminine or not, but keep your eyes peeled for that on the communities tab here on YouTube. And in the meantime, I also have some videos as well on spiritual stuff that may or may not resonate with the readings coming up. So those will be in the next while here. I'll be starting to shoot those spirituality readings on YouTube. And then after that, look for the love readings next month on Rumble. So take care, guys. Have fun and be kind. And we will talk to you soon.